down, and she explodes with power once again. This filly can close wherever she wants. Jaywalk is a Breeders' Cup champ. As they come down to the line, he doesn't know how to lose. He's game winner in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile.
Cortland Simmons with you here on the CS Racing Report on the first day of December in the year of our Lord 2018. A great group of races, grade 1, 2, and 3 from Aqueduct, from Ozone Park in Queens, New York. And one of the big races is going to be the Remsen Stakes. It's 2-year-olds, grade 2, going a mile and 1/8, going sort of that semi-classic distance of 9 furlongs. A big test for these juveniles coming in. Not a lot of horses coming out of the Breeders' Cup. One of the big announcements, though, prior to the running of this race on December the 1st is Code of Honor, a horse who finished second after impressively breaking his maiden at Saratoga to Complexity in the Champagne Stakes. Was considered to be one of the favorites going into the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Had trained very well in Louisville. Suddenly he spiked the temperature, and since that time his training has not been quite up to the level that would satisfy to the satisfactory level of Hall of Famer Shug McGahee. John Velasquez, who worked the horse in conjunction with the Hall of Famer, made the decision the energy level wasn't there, and he was scratched and withdrawn from consideration and from running in this race. So that's a disappointment. But if it wasn't determined or it wasn't thought of to be, if he wasn't the favorite going in, Maximus Mischief is certainly the top choice. Now he has the highest buyer speed figure at 98 off a very impressive 6-length score at Parks Racing at the 7 furlong route. It is a big leap, though, a quantum leap, a Mount Everest to climb to go 9 furlongs, and his pedigree would indicate he doesn't want the 2 turns and the classic distances that will be thrown in front of him, not only on Saturday, December the 1st, 2018, but subsequently in the races leading up to the Triple Crown and the 1.25 miles of the Kentucky Derby. But he's an interesting talent. He is going to be the favorite in here, and let's look at the post positions and what hold he's going to be coming out of. Jungle Warrior is a horse who finished 5th in the Summer Stakes at Woodbine, a race while war, Fog of War won that race. He did break his maiden at the same Woodbine Oval on August the 4th. He's 8-1. And then, of course, Chino Macho is number 2. He's 50-1. And then you have Bourbon War. He's a very interesting prospect. He just won and broke his maiden on prior to the Thanksgiving holiday on November the 14th. He's 5-1. He was very impressive in that performance, and people are thinking that he's a horse that has there's an upside to him. So certainly we'll see if that momentum will carry into the Remsen. And the number 4 is Gladiator King. He's 15-1. And then there's Network Effect out of the Chad Brown barn. He's a son of Curlin, who was second in the local prep, the Nashua Stakes, at 1 16th, or at the flat mile. And he looks like a horse that wants the added distance, but we all believe, or we'd like to believe, that the pedigree, the bloodline of Curlin is going to lend itself to believe that a horse coming from the 2-time Horse of the Year is going to make that particular individual a better candidate to go a distance of ground. We'll just have to wait and see, because in 2018 it was a bit of a mixed bag with horses like Vino Rosso and Tenfold on the classic trail. And then, of course, we've seen Current, a horse that I predicted would possibly switch to the dirt. In his 3-year-old year, Todd Pletcher pulled the trigger for the Kentucky Jockey Club after a disappointing 7th place finish over a heavy, and soft going in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Turf. He ran 7th in the Kentucky Jockey Club. We'll talk more about that race and its ramifications and impact on the upcoming 2019 Kentucky Derby Trail. But again, so the Curlin influence can sometimes end up overrating, creating an overbet situation. So Gladiator King and Network Effect more directly out of the number 5 is going to definitely be creating a stir there. Maximus Mischief is the favorite at 6-5 coming out of the number 6, and then there's Tax, a son of Arch, at 15-1 coming out of the number 7. So the $64 question that one would ask, other than what could happen in this race, is who is my pick? I'm going to definitely go with the favorite. I'm going to go with the chalk, although I do think Network Effect is interesting in here, as is Bourbon War, winning on the 14th of November.